Northern California, Southern Oregon is the Saudi Arabia of wind. It's got incredibly good resource for wind.
Energy research, really looking at different decarbonization scenarios for offshore wind.
My name's Jason Bush, and I'm the Executive Director of POET, Pacific Ocean Energy Trust, the nonprofit that's putting on this event today. And our mission is to promote ocean-based climate solutions, like wave energy, tidal energy, and here in the last few years, offshore wind, which is the topic of today's conference.
I want to go ahead and invite the next panel before lunch.
Well, every story about offshore wind kind of starts with the resource, and for good reason, because we have a resource off of Northern California, Southern Oregon, really from San Francisco to Coos Bay. It's a very high-quality resource, really a world-class wind resource. Offshore wind showed up on the East Coast several years ago after already, maybe 15, 20 years of development in Europe. It is a global sector. In the last 5 years, Asia has really come on strong with offshore wind, including China, which is now the leading producer of offshore wind in the world, so even more than the United Kingdom, which has been by far the leader until recently.
My name is Jean Thurston Keller. I'm with the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. We're one of 9 agencies under the Department of the Interior, responsible for the development of our nation's energy and mineral resources on the outer continental shelf, so in federal waters.
BOEM, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, starting a few years ago, was authorized legislatively to start permitting marine energy.
Our nation's energy needs are increasing over time. For a long time, we were focused on one primary source of energy, which was oil and gas. And now we're looking as a nation towards more renewable sources of energy.
In January of 2021, at the beginning of the new administration, President Biden issued his executive order on tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad. A major part of this order was a call for the United States to deploy 30 gigawatts of offshore wind by 2030.
We generally just speak in terms of megawatts or gigawatts. A gigawatt is a lot of power, it's 1,000 megawatts, and it is the equivalent of a large-size coal facility or a nuclear facility, one reactor, about a gigawatt. The Hoover Dam is 2 gigawatts. Between now and 2050, we need about 300 gigawatts of new generation. And that's to replace aging infrastructure and generation that's going offline. It's for new generation to meet the growing demand for clean electricity. Offshore wind might be able to meet 10 or 20% of that along the entire West Coast.
In spring of 2023, BOEM finalized its selection of 2 wind energy areas off the Oregon coast. The Coos Bay WEA, 32 miles offshore, and the Brookings WEA, 18 miles offshore. These are the regions of ocean where wind energy could soon be deployed.
In offshore wind, with offshore wind, we started in Oregon in 2020. We did a great value study.
There's scientific consensus on the warming of the planet, and it's caused by human factors. We need significant change to meet the challenge. That's why we're decarbonizing the mix. We, in our study, have seen that there's a compelling reason to think about offshore wind as part of that mix. We can't just do it with the land-based renewables we have today. There's an importance to the complementarity of the resources, the firmness of that generation in terms of stability of the system. We need this fleet that complements other sources in the fleet and also is complementary to loads.